G'day folks, and welcome to another video. Today I'm with Isabella. We're chasing crabs. And as the title doesn't suggest, we're actually out here chasing muddies. We're baiting up these traps with catfish we caught out of the Wonga, and we're coming back first thing the next morning to pull them in and see if we've got any mud crabs. We ran out our limit of pots last night. That's 4 each. Your kid has to be able to pull them in on their own to be able to run an extra 4 in their name, and by God, Isabella's going to be pulling in her own pots.
Long rope.
These are heavy duty primal pots from BCF, so they got a little bit of weight in them. This is our first time pulling up these heavy duty pots. We usually use the standard ones, but we hear these ones have been catching more crabs, so we've invested some money in these, and hopefully it pays off this morning.
2 hands. No crabs. This one very deadly looking snail in there. Alright, throw it back out.
No crabs in the first pot, just a cone snail. Those things can be deadly depending on the variety, so we've opted not to touch that guy for now.
Oh, full of sand crabs.
Are they big enough?
Yeah, I reckon some of them might be. That is not what we were here to catch, but we'll take them. Oh, yeah, I thought we've got a twofer deal here.
Oh.
No, just on top of each other. I think this one's touched. It is. Better double check the rules. 4 in that pot Izzy just brought up. This one, it's borderline. I thought it was 11 centimeters between the notches, but apparently it's 11.5 according to Google, so it's always worth checking. This guy is about that. Because we're using the world's shittest crab measure at the top of this esky, we're just going to let it go to play it safe. We've got 3 in there. We can't complain with that, so we're going to throw this one back. We'll go and check the rest of the pots.
We ran down through the line, knocking over the first 4 pots, only finding that one with sand crabs in it. Eventually, it was my turn to start hauling pots in. I managed to pull this one in with a couple of sandies in it. It's unusual, they're not normally in this estuary, but we're not going to complain. We were chasing mud crabs, but sand crabs are just as good. A little bit less meat, but a little bit sweeter. This guy, he's a bit small, so we're sending him home. The other thing we kept catching in the pots were these little pink crabs. I've got no idea what they are. We'll have a better look at them later on, but it's time to get these pots reset because we're going to hang out and have a bit of a fish. See if we can find anything else for the feed. But first of all, we're going to go and try and catch some bait because we didn't bring any. The sound has shown that there's plenty of schools of most likely mullet, maybe herring around. It's time to go and try and cast net a few. I never claimed to be a professional cast netter, but I get the job done eventually. We've got a little bit of bait here. He's just going to fill up the bucket because we're going to try and run a few of these as liveys. We'll see if we can get a couple more while we're on the school. Yep, I reckon that'll do it for the morning. We're only having a fish for a few more hours just so we can let those pots soak, see if we get any actual muddies getting in them. But we waste no time, get a few baits into water. It is dead still here this morning. We've got a few little bites on the rods in the last hour and a half since we checked the pots, but there's no wind, there's not much run. Even though it's supposed to pick up a little bit, it is just so quiet. We've moved to a few spots, but the fish aren't biting. We're going to try a few more before we pull these pots in. But look at this place, she's nearly glassed out.
Little Moses, first fish of the day. Wow, that's the biggest fish of the day. High five. Nice. Look at him, mate.
That's a nice one.
As the morning heated up, the fish seemed to come on the bite. We weren't catching anything substantial. We did have a few runs on the big rods with liveys out, but unfortunately got sharked on one, and a couple of times they come back in scaled. Isabella was committed to catching the most fish, and she always had a line in the water. I don't know if she caught the most fish, but this is definitely my favourite catch out of the ones we landed. A little grassy sweet lip, awesome to see them up the estuary. Check out the blue around his eyes.
You're gonna have to call it a draw on the fishing contest. We ended up with 3 each, so fish seem to have gone off the bite, and it's time for us to go and pull these pots in. I've had about a 3.5 hour soak this morning, so we're gonna rip them out. See if we get any more crabs. See if we get any muddies. That's what we come here for, but I won't complain with sandies. Anyway, we got 8 to rip in, so let's get into it.
I'm pretty glad to see this automatic pot hauler my wife got me finally starting to work. I've had it a long time and it's really starting to pay off. Unfortunately though, there was no more sandies and no muddies to be seen either. Just plenty of these little pink crabs. I don't know what they are. If you guys know, leave a comment. Are they edible? Now we've got the mission of picking up and packing up 8 of these pots. I pick some up, Izzy picks some up.
We've got to stop calling this the tiny tinny. It's not as tiny as the last boat, which we've still got to get rid of to help pay for this one, but this is a Savage. It's a 395 Raptor. Pretty sure. So this has been SouthTrees Sandies in the Raptor. So join us a little bit later today as we cook up these sand crabs and see what they taste like. What do you reckon? Yeah? Alright, we're going to make the trek back to the boat ramp now and get loaded up, and we'll see you in a bit.
We had an awesome morning out here on the water. That grin says it all. She's stoked with her catch, and it's time to go and cook it. Unfortunately, the weather
Put a bag on.
didn't hold out for this afternoon. Kids were pretty keen to give me a hand cooking them. Unfortunately, it was pouring with rain by the time the water got on the boil, but that wasn't going to stop us. We're going to get these crabs cooked. Normally, I'd cook them for about 7 to 9 minutes. I gave them 11 or 12 with the conditions. The rain let up. But we got the crabs cooked. Check these guys out. These are blue swimmers, or more commonly known as sand crabs. You have a possession limit of 20, and they need to be 11.5 centimeters between the notches. You can only keep the males. That way the population is sustainable. Righto guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and maybe I'll see you out there somewhere.